So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I would definitely have to introduce myself, but first, hold on, I'm going to performance mode without the...
Daytabase on production.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Safia Bird Mears.
And my name is Database.
And welcome to Big Up.
My name is Steven Stamber, also known as Database. I am an upcoming producer, composer, and artist who has been studying under lecturers such as Dr. Orville Hammond and Mr. Iba Cooper back at Edna Manley College of Visual Performing Arts.
All music in today's episode is provided by Database Productions. Thank you for tuning in to episode 8 of Big Up. Follow us at BIGGUP_JA and Database_Productions.
What inspired my business really was during the pandemic, was still doing schooling of course, and I got around to making beats and everything. So I figured why not just go ahead and make this part of my brand.
You told me that your music mainly consists of trap and hip hop.
Right.
So can you elaborate on that?
I normally create beats with that sort of genre, along with fusing it with classical music, jazz, whatever piques my interest.
You started making beats in 2020. Why was that?
I was always interested in creating music, and before the pandemic I was making compositions, working on songs, but in terms of making beats, that particular moment in time, I had a lot of time on my hands basically, pandemic coming in and shifting up the way how things go, so that's really why it happened around that point. My best-selling service at the moment would definitely be playing at different events. Reason being is because there's always a need for a musician to be somewhere. So filling in that gap is always something that I treasure and value.
I know that you mentioned that you also ghost produce. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. Ghost producing is essentially just making the beat for somebody, but you don't take credit for it. You just take the cash and you go ahead with that. And since I'm not someone that does dancehall like that, I'm okay with just making the beat and giving the person have the credit and everything, since it's not the main thing that I do.
I noticed that you mainly do gospel-inspired music.
Well, not only because I grew up in the faith, but because it's something that I already planned to do with my music career. I kind of treat it like as if I'm like Bach, where Johann Sebastian Bach wrote cantatas and everything, and also wrote concertos and everything. That's kind of like how I view my music career in that kind of sense. It's not inflicting on my values or anything of that sort, which is why I do instrumental music, and then I'll be doing the gospel music afterwards. Well, what makes my services unique is that I provide a fusion of genres whenever I go ahead and make a beat. I've worked with several persons who have given the same view. They really like how, in terms of like fusing, let's say classical and trap together, it's a very wonderful mix.
So I listened to quite a few of your singles. I have some favorites, but I want to hear what is your favorite.
I don't know, it's hard to pick because, I was inspired by Bach, by a lot of them, and Pious is something I can definitely hear for a certain kind of setting, like an orchestral settings. I would probably say Pious is my favorite. Orchestral feel is something I always want in my music, like the strings and everything, because if you hear my music and my productions, you'll definitely hear a lot of string stuff. So I'm always drawn to that kind of thing.
That's like your signature.
Yeah, so it's like signature production style is just using strings, the 808s, trying to make it sound like as if it's something from out of a movie.
Well, I can tell you that my favorite was Regal.
Oh, you like Regal?
A lot. I like the choices that you made.
Oh, I'm surprised that you liked Regal, because to be honest, it hasn't really got as much stream as the other two, but I'm glad to hear that someone liked Regal. Funny enough, remember the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef? Funny story about that. I was actually working on some beats which I could give to some people if somebody wants to buy a beat. Originally it was going to be one of those beats because I was listening to, I think, a track from Drake called Push-Ups. I was listening to Push-Ups, and the same 808s, the way how it was going, I was like, all right, I need to create something similar to that, and that's what led to Regal being Regal. Only thing left was just to add in that motif which you hear.
Also, I saw that you would remix popular gospel songs. Do you want to talk about that?
That all started when I decided to, for the sake of going ahead and building my channel, my database channel and everything, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do anything other than just putting together these remixes or sample flips. Prince Saj, Fully Jesus. So I said, all right, I need to definitely hit that one. And it definitely worked well in my favor.
Give me the rhythm, yeah. No, make me thump it up and show them how we do it. None of them no bother father, God alone I run the street. I could telescope, now read the Bible.
I also did with, I don't know if you know Kid Lee, who's a Christian hip hop artist. I did Head Not the Tail, I did a remix to that. Joss and Gale, she is a local artist here, local upcoming artist. Also shout out to Joss and Gale if you see this interview. Her latest single was called War Cry. So I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and remix this, and it came out great. So I love the remixes. It's always something fun to do. Plus it's within my range of always doing something that I love.
The process behind creating a beat.
Okay, I will tell you this. It is not the same experience all the time. 1 minute, you start off by thinking about the drum pattern. Another minute, you're thinking about the melody. And the third minute, I'm thinking about, okay, this sample sounds really great. Let's see what happens when I chop it up. So it differs for each experience. So for example, with Prince Saj's Fully Jesus remix, I didn't really think of anything other than just getting the acapella and then see what I can build around it. That was really the aim. I just let everything flow out like a river. Sometimes I take a lot more time with thinking about it and then it just flows right over. That's just really how it is with the creative process.
How has your Jamaican heritage influenced your business?
Jamaica is a place where music is always going to be around and always respected. There are a few favorite gospel artists down here that I love very much, like Papa San.
DJ Nicholas.
Yes, DJ Nicholas is one of them, yes. All different type of persons. I always had a liking towards their music and everything. That kind of shaped me to like, all right, if I was going to like create music, I would definitely work with those kind of people.
What do you want customers to feel when they use your service?
I want them to feel elated. I want them to feel satisfied. I want them to act like Fry in that meme. Just give me it, you know. Yeah, I want them to feel like that. I also want them to be convinced that they want me on retainer. If you see that there's something there, like some potential to keep going, why not just put them on retainer? Put the person on retainer, you know? Hi, my name is Database and I want to big up Safia.